Tell me about this new car. What's my headline for the story?
Well, what I would tell you is I think the biggest thing that people are going to notice is the bold, aggressive design from the last generation to this generation. This is an all-new car from the ground up, so that means all new chassis, all new powertrains. And what has Hyundai done is they've really upped the game in terms of refinement. You saw how stiff the chassis was with the new strength, the steels, the high-strength steels. We've more than doubled the amount of high-strength steel. So when you're buying a car, you need to think about some things. Your tires, how stiff your chassis is, and then how well everything is sealed up. So we're having a conversation right now. I can't hear the engine. So that's something that's a real positive.
Let me turn the fan down. Let people listen.
Yeah, go ahead.
That's quiet.
Yeah.
I gotta tell you, I wasn't a huge fan of the previous model style-wise.
Okay.
It looked like a drunk puffer fish to me. It really did. It had that kind of puffer fish face on it, and I just didn't fit right. It was just a little too small, and I feel much more comfortable in this model. It feels like you've really gone and made it much more usable, much more utilitarian in a kind of a broader segment. Because let's face it, you're competing in some stiff. Into some stiff headwind, right? You've got the RAV4,
Yep.
Escape,
Honda CRV.
Honda CRV, hugely popular, segment leader, I believe.
The Mazda.
The Mazda CX-5.
Yep.
And the Jeep Cherokee. That's a lot of brand new cars.
What are people buying compact SUVs for is the utility, meaning you can put a lot of stuff in it. And you can also put stuff on the roof with the roof rack. So that's what people are buying, is the capability. And what comes along with that is fuel economy now. And that's what's really changing the game in the segment, is you're not paying, there's not much of a penalty for getting the compact SUV versus a sedan.
If I were to compare this car in class to the Ford Escape, the Toyota RAV4, the CX-5, I'm just trying to think off the top of my head of the cars that compete with this. I would say this is probably most akin to a hybrid between the CX-5, which is probably the best performing, most sportiest car of the bunch, and the RAV4, because the RAV4 is, I think, the most utilitarian and the most buttoned down. So it's kind of a mixture of both of those cars in terms of its driving dynamics. Yeah, there's not a lot of road feel, and there certainly isn't a lot of excessive power. But if you want to have fun with it, you can put it in sport mode and pretend, and I do mean pretend, that you're driving a much sportier car.
The biggest thing that people are going to notice is the bold, aggressive design from the last generation to this generation. This is an all-new car from the ground up, so that means all new chassis, all new powertrains. And what has Hyundai done is they've really upped the game in terms of refinement. You saw how stiff the chassis was with the new strength, the steels, the high-strength steels. We've more than doubled the amount of high-strength steel. So when you're buying a car, you need to think about some things. Your tires, how stiff your chassis is, and then how well everything is sealed up. So we're having a conversation right now. I can't hear the engine. So that's something that's a real positive.
Let me turn the fan down. Let people listen.
Yeah, go ahead.
That's quiet. So how does the Tucson drive? Well, I would say this engine is just a little bit underpowered, especially if you take it up to altitude. I think they've tuned this car more for economy and less for performance, but that's okay, because let's face it, economy is what people are using as a buying decision when it comes to purchasing these cars, more so than power. It certainly ain't no EcoBoost in the Escape, but it's lively, and the stiffer chassis does pay dividends. Now, I'm in normal mode, and I can switch it over right now to sport mode. That's eco mode, and I'm gonna go to sport mode, and that's gonna change the shift points, that's gonna firm up the steering, it's gonna change the transmission, the way that it works. But you know what? This car is not about road holding or carving corners, which it's actually doing at a respectable amount right now. It's really about utility, and that's where it excels.
And they're also bringing all kinds of technology to these multimedia systems right now.
I love this 8-inch screen. It's really nice.
We got a great navigation system, but then we can also go into our menus here, and you can pull up all kinds of things. We've got a Yelp app, we've got Pandora, we've got Sirius XM on this vehicle as well. We can hit the radio button.
My favorite feature is the fact that you can split that screen in half, right?
Oh yeah, if you go back to the house.
Yeah, you can so half.
Yeah, you can go half and half, right?
I can show you guys. Why not? We're in the very slow area right there. Look at that. You can split it in half. So half of it is navigation, and the other half is our radio. Well, that's because it's so big that you can actually do that. Yeah, that's pretty cool. As always, this is Roman reporting for the Fastlane Car. Thanks for watching, and if you wanna check out the complete review of this, we've already published it. All you have to do is click below, and we will link you directly to the complete review. See you next time. Ciao.